soul for a soul.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I am ready to drop on you my third iteration of my Wheel of Torment Warlock. Of course, stronger than ever, now over 600 corruption. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. So this is my Wheel of Torment Warlock, and it's called that because we are using the Wheel of Torment staff, which allows you to cast Soul Feast and then rip Torment out of your enemies. It is a visually stunning build, gives you extreme clear speed, and you can hit enemies from 2 screen lengths away, which is really, really nice. The skills we are using are Profane Veil, Soul Feast, Rip Blood, Chaos Bolts, and Chthonic Fissure, and obviously a lot of this build is completely automated. Your staff, Wheel of Torment, will actually even cast Chthonic Fissure for you, but normally I am manually casting it. So really, you cast Chthonic Fissure, you cast Soul Feast to rip Torment out of the enemies, and you move on to the next pack. You are auto-procking Bone Curse, you're auto-procking Chaos Bolts, you are auto-procking Rip Blood, which allows you to put 2 movement skills on your bar. So we can transplant and we can use Profane Veil. Profane Veil does do decent damage and gives you a nice survivability tool whenever you need it. And you make your little orbs when you go into Profane Veil. Right now, this is a little over 600 corruption. We're doing a lot more damage on this cycle character over version 2. So version 3 is feeling pretty darn good. And let's finish off this Echo. And I'll show you a couple boss fights for single target. Void Spire. Done. Moving on. Exiled Mage. 616 corruption. You gotta be careful with these guys. Oh, and we got a lizard. Profane Veil, we need a little survivability. And Exiled Mage, you are dead. Nemesis, same level as the Exiled Mage. Ow. Look how quickly we get our life back. Good ward. And dead. 616 corruption Rye. Pretty simple fight. So even for single target or echoes, you run the same thing. Spam, drop Chthonic Fissure. And you got double movement speed when you need it. Transplant Profane when you need it. Final phase. And Rye, you are dead. Almost dead. Now dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with one of our movement skills, Profane Veil, and I'll try and show you the order in which you want to take these points. Now for Profane Veil, what you want to do is move down, and you want to get duration and movement speed, cleanse, and then you're going to come up and get penance, and then you're going to come up here and get your Profane Orbs, which do a decent amount of damage, and you cast them frequently. You're then going to come down and take a secondary area, and you're going to take another curse with Bone Curse. You are then going to come down and apply armor. Armor applies to dots. You're going to take slow and leech, and then you're going to take immobilize. Very, very good skill. Moving over to Rip Blood, and you are never auto-casting Rip Blood. This comes from Chaos Bolts. What you want to do is you want to come up and to the right, and instead of health regen, you want ward. Then you're going to come to the left, and you're going to get more ward, and it's going to travel quicker. You're then going to come down and take damage for Rip Blood. You're going to come down and get splatter, and you're going to get blood splatter Basically, you're going to get double splatter. Now, these last 2 points you can put wherever you want. I just put it into more damage and bigger area. Moving over to our spam skill, Soul Feast. What you want for Soul Feast is you want to come to the right, and you want to come up and over. Mana granted from rares and bosses. You want those fragments to give you mana. And in this build in the past, mana has been a problem. It is not anymore. You're then going to come down and you're going to boost the damage and more ward on curse. And then you're going to take the 35% multiplicative damage. I tested this a lot, and since we're using a Twisted Heart, it's not a big deal losing the 50% ward. You're then going to come to the left and take cast speed and mana efficiency. And you're going to get Damned Chance on intelligence. And you're going to get necrotic penetration with damned. Moving over to our skill, Chaos Bolts. Again, this is something that is automated where you don't have to use it yourself. First thing you want to do is you want to come over and down. This is going to give you damage. It's going to auto trigger Rip Blood. You're then going to come farther down and you are going to get Bone Curse again, which is going to be auto triggered. You're then going to come to the left and you're going to get your Damn Chance and your Ignite Chance. And you're going to get more damage to these cursed and ailed enemies. And then you have 1 point left over. I just put it in a grave for 2. Last skill, which is Chthonic Fissure. And this will be auto-triggered by your weapon. I'm also manually casting it all the time. First thing you want to do is come to the left and come up and get Chaotic Rupture, which gives you a chance to replace spirits with Chaos Bolts 39%. You want it to be double the size. You're then going to come down here. You're going to get your damned stacks. You're going to get your necrotic damage per 1% added crit multiplier. And Torment deals more damage based upon your necrotic resistance. Again, you need as much necrotic resistance as humanly possible to boost your Torment. You're then going to come straight up and you're going to get Tomb Gorger, which is going to be your Torment multiplicative damage. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passive tree. Now, my Warlock on cycle is currently level 98, and I will show you where to put those final 2 points. Looking at the base Acolyte tree, we have 8 into Forbidden Knowledge, 6 into Stolen Vitality, 1 into Mana of Mortality, and 5 into Unnatural Preservation. Again, we want as much necrotic resistance as possible, and we are using Ward to help keep us alive, so the Ward retention is nice. Moving over to the Warlock tree, we have 5 into Spiteful Decay, 5 into Soul Stealer, 5 into Mind, 5 into Harrowing Armor, 5 into Ward Dark Protections, 3 into Ward of the Malevolence, 3 into Imperishable, Ward Decay threshold per 1% necrotic resistance. Again, as much necrotic resistance as humanly possible. We are basically maxing out our Witchfire, and you will see that here. 5 on Chains of Ruin, 5 on Infernal Lash, 5 on the Ashen one, and 5 into Domain. So we're going to be taking our Witchfire. 10 into Body, 5 into Chaotic Strikes, 2 into Encroaching Darkness, 3 into Duskbringer, 5 into Wither. And then up here we have 5 into Veils of Chaos. This is more damage for overtime per overload, and you're going to have a bunch of overloads. And then our last 5 right here on Aspect of Death, which is Damn Yourself on kill or minion kill, Damn Yourself when hit, and you're going to have more damage per negative ailment on yourself and a boost to your overall life. Now, my final 5 points are right here in Survival of the Cruel, and my next 2 levels, so level 99 and level 100, I'm going to be putting 2 points right here into this node. Those are the passives. Moving over to Last Epoch tools, we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now on here, we have taken basically all survivability. We have void resistance, lightning resistance, physical resistance, endurance, and critical strike avoidance. Now, of course, if you have critical strike avoidance from your gear, you could switch this one for all resistances. If you already have lightning resistance on your gear, you could switch this for mana, but this is what I like, trying to stay alive in those higher corruptions. Moving over to idols, on here, very easy, as much life as humanly possible. We have quad double life idols, and then on here we have quad double life idols, as much life as you could squeeze out of this build. Now, moving over to gear. There's only one item that is required. One item, the build does not work without it, and this is the Wheel of Torment staff. You have to have this. What this does is allow you to manually rip torment out of your enemies. and it's really, really cool. You can hit them for almost 2 screen lengths away. That is why this is the Wheel of Torment Warlock, because of the Wheel of Torment staff. So this is absolutely required for the build. Nothing else is required, but I will show you some best in slots. If Wheel of Torment was number 1, Bone Clamor is number 2. And that's because you get 1 ward per second per 3% uncapped necrotic resistance. You want as much necrotic resistance as humanly possible. The third item is the Twisted Heart. You have a lot of life regen, so you're gonna be casting spells like crazy with extreme cast speed. So you're gonna be getting a ton of ward, and then you'll have that life leech to bring your life back up so that you still have life and you are generating lots of ward. Now, optional. So you can use the Fire Belt. This will give you more damage, but you'll be a little less tanky. And you can use Ashes of Mortality. This is also a good ring, but not required. Okay? These 2 are good, but not required. Really, I would focus on Wheel of Torment, Bone Clamor, and Twisted Heart. Now, some other items I'm using. An Oracle Amulet. Damage over time, elemental damage over time. Ivory Ring, because it has 46% necrotic resistance, damage over time, intelligence. Boots, we needed some cold resistance, intelligence, movement, necrotic resistance hybrid. Get our endurance, intelligence, cast speed, health, and necrotic resistance. Oh, and armor. Intelligence, level to Chthonic Fissure, necrotic resistance, and increase to health. That is the gear. So now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I go from level 1 to end game like I see on screen? I will show you. Now, not a lot of people agree with this, but this is the way I level. It doesn't matter if you're a Necromancer, Lich, or a Warlock. I level them the exact same way, with minions. Minions do all the dirty work. They clear the screen. You level fast. You clear fast. It honestly just makes it easy. The first skill I take is Summon Skeletons, and I immediately come to the left and I remove Warriors, so that we have ranged skeletons. I then come down and boost their damage, or come up and get an extra skeleton. First skill, Summon Skeleton. Second skill I take is Summon Bone Golem, and I come down here and I give it more threat, and I turn it into the biggest golem you can have, so that it is your meat shield and all the enemies are fighting the golem and not you and your skeletons. The third skill I take is Summon Volatile Zombie. This is your spam skill. Treat it as like you're casting a spell. And you want to take mana efficiency, and you want to come up here and get kill threshold. That way, you only have to knock out 84% of their life, and then the zombies will take them out on that final 16%. Now, you want to put an unspec'd transplant on your bar, so that way they're doing damage, and you can freely move around. With those 4 skills, you will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my 3rd iteration Wheel of Torment Warlock? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, if you think I have earned it, check out the Patreon. It is the best way to support. And Discord, we are over 4,200 members strong. We do a game giveaway every couple weeks. It's where I run all my community events. Check out the Action RPG Discord. I'm done. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.